Technical difficulties. Welcome, everybody. Sorry about that. Welcome to the second episode of the Hawkaholics podcast. I am your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, as always, Mr. Brandon.
Cheers, Hawks.
How you doing, my friend?
Oh, pretty good, man. Just enjoying this nice overcast skies. Ready to talk some Hawkeye football with y'all.
Man, we are 1 week closer from last week, and every week it's going to get better and better and better, and I cannot wait, man. I'm so excited.
Same.
Not to mention, we have an awesome show lined up for you guys. Another phenomenal guest. I'm sure a lot of you out there in the world of the Iowa Hawkeyes follow his page, Hawkeye Heaven. I'm going to waste no time. We're going to kick this thing off with our guest tonight, Mr. Levi Thompson. What's up, my friend? How are you?
What's up, gentlemen? How are you guys?
Oh, incredible, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Hey, that intro you guys got going on there is pretty badass.
It makes you want to strap up, don't it?
Yeah, I was about ready to jump through the screen.
Do it. We love that.
You're the second guest to say that, so that's shit. That makes my day right there.
Man. Appreciate it, brother.
Well, awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. Man, we reached out to you. This was, I know Brandon, this is one of his go-to when we first started talking a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
On here. But yeah, thanks for jumping on with us, man. I've been following the page. Shit, I don't even know, man. I think from the beginning. I might have been number like 56 or some shit. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Been around the block with it, man. And it's phenomenal, man. I love the page. But yeah, Brandon, you want to take it away? We'll skip
yes,
no
sir.
time. We'll get to know Levi a little bit here.
So, Levi, before we talk about your page, I just wanted to let you know that I've been a fan since probably, I would say, 2012 of the page, and it is taking me over 12 years to find exactly who runs the damn page. I've always wondered, but I've never actually asked somebody who runs this page, so I'm finally glad I've known for the last 3 months. So, with that being said, could you tell us a bit about yourself outside of Hawkeye Heaven, who you are, what you represent, what your beliefs are to the Hawk Nation?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Altoona now. I'm originally from Algona, Iowa, if you guys know where that's at.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
So that was where I was born and raised. Joined the service right out of high school. I was in the Air Force for 8 years.
Thank you for your service, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for your support.
Cheers.
So from there, I got to travel the world. I was all over the place. I was in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I was in Texas. I was in Kunsan, Korea. I was in Germany. I was on the East Coast, out in Dover, Delaware. So I got to see a lot of the world, a lot of the United States, a lot of the other countries. So that was pretty neat. That's kind of how Hawkeye Heaven kind of started. When I was overseas, it was obviously it's a lot different than now. Obviously now you can find Hawkeye stuff everywhere on social media now.
Right.
But when this would have been back in 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. When I was in Korea, there wasn't really a whole lot of Hawkeye outlets on social media. And when we were over there, I mean, we don't get a lot of, I mean, besides we got 2 or 3 channels. So every now and again you catch a game, but it was never the Hawkeyes. So that's what I thought when I got out of the service. I wanted to, find a way to give back to the troops that were overseas, and just kind of give them an outlet to where they could watch and kind of get their Hawkeye news and just kind of make you feel closer to home and just see fans and stuff on the page and stuff like that. And that's kind of how it all got going. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
that's great.
Right,
Man.
I mean, so how long did it take for this page to get big? Like, when did you really start to notice that, hey, this is actually becoming a big deal?
Well, to be honest with you, I never thought I'd have more than 500 fans, to be honest with you. I remember when I hit 100, I was like, this is awesome. I'm like, I'm telling my wife, I'm like, I got 100 fans on here now. And she's like, oh, good deal. Good job,
Cool.
honey. And then, I don't know, it probably took, a year or two. And then I really started getting some traction. my go-to was, I mean, obviously I've always kind of based this on giving it back to the service members. And that's kind of like I was telling you, that's kind of how I got it started. That's why, you know, a lot of stuff was military based, and obviously the Hawkeye, I mean, all towards the Hawkeyes and stuff, but it was just, I'd have troops that send in their pictures and stuff, and I'd share them to the page, and they'd see that, and then, you know, their family members would share it, and it was kind of just got, you know, passed around like that by, you know, word of mouth. And that's where I've seen a lot of my success, you know, on the page and growing it is, you know, just, I really like to include the fans and make you feel like you're a part of the page. Just because, you know, so anytime anybody tries to send in a photo, obviously I don't get to all of them, but I try to. I get a lot of pictures that are sent in, and I try to share as many as possible, you know, just, you know, wherever if they're on vacation or something, and that, you know, representing the colors or whatnot. And then I like to throw it up on there, and obviously that turns into them sharing it and their family members sharing it, and that's kind of how the page has grown. And then obviously we've had a lot of big moments too in there too. Obviously the wave was huge. When Krista Young is the young lady that sent in the picture, or that sent in the idea to me. She knew I had the platform to get it out there, with the number of people and everything like that. We weren't sure how it would take. So she's the one that sent an idea about the waving to the kids, obviously, after the children's hospital was, they moved them to the 12th floor or whatnot. And then it was my idea to have them wave after the first quarter. And my thoughts behind that were just because I didn't want it to disrupt the game in any shape or form. And I was thinking, you know, at the end of the third quarter or something like that, you know, it's, you know, you don't know. And like, obviously I didn't know if this would ever take any traction at all whatsoever.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I thought this, you know, I love the idea. Obviously I'm like, this is freaking awesome. You know, but never thought it would take off like it did. And obviously, so basically after she sent the idea into me, I reached out I put a post up on Hawkeye Heaven, just asking families that were in the hospital if they'd send me their pictures of them overlooking Kinnick Stadium. And then I would put a post with it. And then I just did that basically continuously for like the next month or two. And I would say the majority of those posts went viral. And I mean, all of them combined had over like 7.5 million hits.
Damn, man, that's crazy shit, man.
Beautiful.
So that's kind of how that started. And obviously, you know, the word got out about that and stuff too. And the numbers just kept growing and growing. And now it seems like it's growing like crazy still, which is, it still blows my mind. You know, like I'm still averaging probably, you know, 500 to 600 fans, I'd say, every 2 weeks.
Damn.
So,
jeez.
I mean,
that is beautiful. So out of curiosity, I've always wondered why the first quarter. Kind of like in baseball, there's a 7th inning stretch, and a lot of traditions are done after the third quarter. But did they ever explain why the first quarter?
No, so like literally, I threw it out there because the first quarter, like I said earlier, was just because I didn't want to really affect the game. I think it was early enough in the game to where, you know, the players, you know, if they wanted to participate, like I said, who knows? I didn't know how this was all going to go. You know, I didn't even know if it'd take, but I'm sure I probably pissed somebody off along the way because I was the one that let's do this after the first quarter. And then, you know, obviously during that Wyoming game, everybody turned and waved to the kids. And then after the fact, then they came over the PA system and, you know, made an announcement, and then everybody turned and waved again. So I don't know if you guys were at the first time it happened. I don't know if you were there, but that's kind of how it went down. So it was really cool to see it the first time because I knew that was coming from the page. You know what I mean? It's like I knew that was 100%. And obviously they knew it was going to happen too, everybody. Because I mean, I would say I know the university looks at the page quite a bit because every now and then they'll tell me that I got to take something down or something.
We're waiting for that one.
Censor police, come on, man.
Yeah,
a couple more months, it'll happen.
Yeah.
So
I got a question. Sorry, Brandon.
Go ahead, buddy.
What's up?
You talked about when it started taking off. What was your reaction when you're watching, let's say, ESPN, and all of a sudden, boom, there it is? and all they're talking about is how awesome this is. Was that a cool feeling, or were you just
Oh,
like
it was in a
shock? Like, holy shit, I made it.
I mean,
Like,
it was goosebumps, hair
Yep.
standing up on the on your arms and on the back of my neck, and just I mean, it was crazy. It's still one of the cool. I mean, obviously, it's the coolest thing that's ever came out of the page, 100%.
That's awesome.
Just to be a part of that, it was the fans that made it happen. I just got into clicking the button and typing a few words here or there. So, but it was the fans that really made it happen. So that's that was the coolest thing about it for me.
That's phenomenal. So you can see the comment, Big Ten backers. What's up, boys?
What's up, guys?
Now, I don't know if this is something you want to share, but what is something that the University of Iowa asked you to take down? I think they're curious too, because they talk about the Big Ten. They talk about all the teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically it's just like anytime there's like something trademarked or something, usually it has something to do with somebody wants me to sell something for them or help them get it out to the public eye. And then we'll find out, well, they're not licensed with the University of Iowa. Yeah. So they'll have like a Tiger Hawk on there or something like that. It's usually something along those lines. They're pretty protective of their brand, which, I mean, they kind of have to be, but so that it's usually something along those lines. Or one time we had, here's kind of a cool story. So we had a gentleman that was working on a construction site in Ames at Jack Trice Stadium. And he took a picture of them burying a Hawkeye flag actually in the parking lot. Well, that turned into a big fiasco because they ended up having to dig it back up.
Oh, no.
Company,
no overtime pay on that shit.
So, yeah. So I ended up removing that down. I don't know if the guy ended up losing his job, but he told me to take it down immediately because he was going to lose his job. So I took it down.
Awesome.
So that's okay. That's a funny one, man. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He was probably from Nevada there, Brad.
Hey, man. Probably, to be honest with you. Boys from Nevada.
Oh, yeah. So how many awards has the Wave won? And if there are, for the awards that were won, do you ever get anything for it, or is it just all the university?
I mean, I think the Wave itself has brought in quite a few awards. I don't know the number right off the top of my head. I don't track that kind of stuff. I mean, but it's,
that's all right.
I know right after, let's see, it'd have been the first year. So it'd have been back in 2017. Me and Krista Young both were invited out to St. Louis for a big ceremony, and they gave us an award there. We talked in front of a huge crowd, and it's called the Musial Awards. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Named after Stan Musial.
The St. Louis Cardinal. Yeah.
Yep. So they do a big thing every year. It's actually televised now. It wasn't when we did it. They just streamed it. Now it's on ABC. But it's pretty cool. They do. I mean, they have a lot of people there. That's just, that shows good sportsmanship throughout the year. They have, I mean, ours was awesome. As far as, we got to talk about the Wave and stuff like that and just kind of how it transpired and everything, starting from the very beginning where Krista sent me the message. And then I just basically blasted out on the social media page, and then we got to hear everybody else's stories and they got to talk. It was a really cool thing. And they put us up in a hotel for the weekend, flew us out there. So it was pretty cool. So
that's awesome, man. That's an experience a lot of people will never, ever, ever, ever get to experience, let alone somebody that starts up a Facebook page and
right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
The best college tradition in all sports, man.
Hands down. We can't argue with that one.
Crazy stuff. I'll put that graphic back up because I just love seeing it.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Yeah, look at that. See, look at that. Just all the different traditions that you just blow away. Like jump around, enter Sandman, even the whiteout, and even you get fans of rivals that are literally that hate the Hawkeyes will go out of their way and say that the tradition is one of the most beautiful things they've ever seen too. So that's one thing
we can all kind of agree on there is, regardless of who you're rooting for on that day, we're all rooting for those kids, right?
Oh,
freaking man.
Man. I think the coolest story of what you talked about, Brandon, was, I don't remember what year it was, but do you guys remember the group of Wisconsin fans on their way to Nebraska that bought tickets to the Iowa game just so they could do the wave and then finish the drive to Lincoln. You guys remember that?
Yes.
These pictures and shit. I'm like,
yep, remember seeing that.
That's how you know it's the best thing in tradition. I ain't never bought tickets to go to Blacksburg on my way to Rutgers just so I could do the round, or the I guess they call it the Blacksburg bounce. They like to call it, the people there.
Yep.
I don't even know what the closest place to where you're at right now. What would that be?
I have done two of these.
Toomer's Corner. Have you?
I've done two of these. So I have obviously done the jump around. I went up to a Wisconsin game. That's a blast. That's fun.
Jealous. That's my job next year. I'm going up there.
And I have been to Blacksburg and been there for the Enter Sandman. It was a Thursday night game against Miami. Dude, it was cool as hell.
Oh, wow.
But the wave is still better. And I haven't had a chance to partake in it. I mean, it started in 2017, and then I moved to Florida in 2018. So my ass hasn't done it once. Have you, Brandon?
Yeah. Last year I went. That was my recent one. Last year was senior day against Illinois. Which reminds me, dude, you need to I'm going to bug you to come up here and do the wave with me and tailgate. So you need to get your ass up here.
Don't tempt me with a good time, man.
You have frequent flyer miles. I don't want to hear it.
I actually do. You're right. Uh-oh, what do we got here?
Oh, God.
Levi and us. Oh, shit. What do you got, Chris?
Oh, Jesus. He's going back. This dude knows his stuff.
Vandy Chris.
I don't know if you'd want to drink the soda in those cans, though.
No, that would devaluize the freaking pop. So no, thank you.
Shit. You remember when Bud Light? You guys remember when Bud Light had those, like, they were like team color cans, probably 2010. Yeah,
kept them.
Oh yeah,
have them.
My dad has one unopened in his Hawkeye bathroom downstairs, and I'm like, man, I wonder how 14-year-old beer tastes. Like, just out of curiosity, crack that shit one day.
Say if all he has is one, then don't do it. But if he's got more, then do it.
Nah, it's just one
video.
It's on a little display thing, so.
Okay.
You'd have to okay that shit.
Shit.
No, she got.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. So, in 2017, Levi, I was going to tell you, I spent a summer living in Altoona. Why I didn't last longer there. That's like one of my favorite towns in all of Iowa. Yep. And where your bar was at is like it looks like an old Western town that you would see in the old Western movies. That has got to be the most badass backdrop I've ever seen. With that being said, tell us a little about your tavern. I want to know more about your tavern.
So first off, it's not. I don't own the tavern.
Oh, you don't?
Nope. It's not mine.
I thought you did.
Nope, I do not own the tavern. So, so it was named after my brand. Obviously, they asked permission to name it after.
Okay.
So basically, how it came about is It used to be called Brewhouse 25.
Yep.
Yes. And that's what I started doing. I started doing my game watches up there. And then it changed ownership. And then the new owner that bought it asked if they could rename it to Hawkeye Heaven Tavern, just because we were doing our game. We had been up there, I think, 3 years at the time when they renamed it to Hawkeye Heaven Tavern. And just because we had such our game watches, I mean, you can't compare to them. They're the best. We always give away like $2,000 worth of prizes every game. We're always giving away tickets at the game watches, and there's just the people alone. The crowds are awesome. The people are freaking awesome. Obviously they're Hawkeye fans, so they got to be awesome, right?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of, you wouldn't believe, I think most people just assume that it's my bar, but it's actually not my bar. So
there's another question for you there.
I don't think so.
But I probably spent enough money there where I could probably own some type of ownership in it. To where...
That's awesome. Question from Mr. Chris there, Levi. He wants to know if you own the Heaven's Twitter account.
I do not. Nope. I took Hawkeye Heaven completely off X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Probably 3-4 years ago now. It was just more hate more than anything else on X, to be honest, or on Twitter at the time. You see that obviously everywhere. You see it on the Facebook page too. I'll be honest, I very rarely read the comments anymore, just because it's just I don't have time for it, to be honest with you. Every now and again, I'll throw a smart ass comment up there, because they can get kind of nasty sometimes on there, and it's like, geez, guys, come on.
Sounds like this guy over here already.
Yep. Hey, we're small enough; it doesn't really matter. But once if it happens and we get to his size, then I'll be done. But
and over time, I did find out, like, I'll be honest, when I first started the pages, I'd get very defensive on a lot of stuff, like when people would comment. And I just kind of found out over time, it just bit me in the ass in the long run. If I just shut up, everybody else would do the talking for me. So I didn't really have to say anything, so I kind of just learned to shut my mouth. Every now and again, like I said, I'll throw a smart ass comment up there if somebody puts something.
Get him with that sneaky jab.
Yeah, right. So I was like, I can only hear so many times a day, how bad our offense is. I was like, yeah, we are all watching the same, the same TV, so we know. So.
Yeah, I have noticed that shit on there all the time, man. Every post, same shit.
Yep. It could be completely unrelated about anything, it could be about, a women's basketball post, and they're going to say something about the offense. So it's just like, oh, good. But
man, I think I saw one of those today. Did you jab back at someone today?
I think I might have.
It was the 8-year-old defenses.
Yeah.
They're bitching about the offense, blaming Ferentz. It's like, what?
Yeah, and it's like, how come he always gets blamed, for such a shitty offense? But anytime it has anything to do with the defense, he doesn't get any credit. Parker gets all of it. He's still the head coach. You can slam him on one side, but you got to give him praise on the other, right?
Well, yeah, and he's kept him.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the biggest thing. He's kept him. That guy could have left. I thought he was going to be gone last year when USC.
And that's the thing. When Ferentz retires, Parker's going to retire right alongside him. I guarantee it.
Oh, definitely. I'm just curious who we're going to get to replace him.
There's a new head coaching position already, so
should be interesting. That'd be interesting. I don't know what I would do without, honestly, almost my whole life, 2 coaches. That's it.
Yep.
I feel you.
It's so weird, man. I'm pushing.
I think it's pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah,
nobody else can say that. We've got Hayden Fry and Ferentz, dude. It's freaking.
Yeah.
I think it's
awesome. Not one team can say that. Not one.
Well,
especially nowadays in football, man. You'd be lucky if they give you 2 years to turn a program around. It's insane. And then we've had 2 coaches sit there for how long was Fry there for?
70.
79.
Late 70s to like 98.
Yeah, it was like 20. Yeah, it was 23 years, 24 years, something.
So wild, man. But cool at the same time, like you said, man. That's phenomenal stuff right there.
Heck yeah.
Chris, man, you have to deny.
No, Vandy, no. No.
Why not?
How old is he? I know age is just a number, but how old is Stoops? He's like 60 something. He's getting there, and there's controversy right now too. So
that's true. That may change it a little bit.
And real quick though, to be honest though, if I was actually wanting Stoops over Ferentz, but now I'm like one of the biggest Ferentz supporters you could think of on the planet, just because I know his son James. I was teammates with him in high school for a little bit, wrestling and football. So I kind of little connection with the Ferentzes there. So, and then like the Brian Ferentz thing, that I'm not going to lie to you guys, offense coordinator, whoop-de-doo. I mean, it kind of was offensive because I know those guys. Like when I was growing up, I used to hang out with James a lot. So it was just, I don't know. I'm a very big Ferentz fan. So
I'm right there with you.
A little difficult when I hear that shit. So
I think people forget how good of a positional coach Brian Ferentz was.
Yeah.
The year the Patriots had Gronk go off and Hernandez go off, who was the tight ends coach? Brian Ferentz. The year we had the 2 tight ends go off, Brian Ferentz was in charge of that. The year we won the Remington Award, or what's the one for the best line in the nation? I can't even remember.
Bened something.
He was the O-line coach. We won that.
Yeah.
He just
you can give Brian Ferentz all the shit in the world for not being successful at offensive coordinator, but that dude he's forgot more about football than most of us will ever know combined.
So and you watch, Maryland gives us hell when we have to go play them.
Yeah, that makes me nervous. Like, so
I do have a little upset, but it ain't Maryland. I'll tell you that. But we'll get to that later on. But
Badgers, you ain't wrong with that one, man. You're down your top wide receiver target, I guess tight end target, quarterback. Yeah, no excuse, but same thing.
Oh, definitely.
There it is. Perfect. All right. So what you got? We're going to do some prediction. Give me a moment here. I'm going to pull this up. I want to hear what you have. Hold on one second here. We want to hear Hawkeye Heaven and Levi's predictions on the season. We can start at the top, unless you don't want to release it. And I know you got a 250,000 followers. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, first game, obviously, Illinois State. What do you got, Levi?
Well, I think we're going to take care of business there. I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem. I really hope we see some flashes on offense, though. Just, change it up. I hope the quarterback plays solid. Right now, I mean, after Kids Day, I didn't get to go up to Kids Day. We had other obligations last weekend, but it sounded like it wasn't pretty from McNamara, so that scares me a little bit. But
I was happy to hear about Mr. Sullivan having obviously not the greatest of days, but he definitely put together a better outing than McNamara did for sure.
Yeah, there is video, guys, on YouTube if you're wondering.
Which one, McNamara or Sullivan?
Offensive and defensive highlights. I can't remember who put it out, but I think it was On Iowa or Hawk Central put it out. Okay. One of those YouTube. You can just type in Hawkeye Kids Day and it'll pop up. That's what I did. So
look at you on your research, my man.
I have time. Okay, Jesus,
my man.
Workaholics.
Right. So you got them 1-0. All right, Iowa State.
Iowa State will be tough. Obviously they're gunning for us. Being at Kinnick Stadium this year, helps. Our defense is obviously going to be one of the top in the nation again. I think that's huge. Iowa State's going to have a good offense. So I think we'll be tested for sure in that game. I think it'll be close, but I'm hoping the Hawks can pull it off. So I'm going to go with the Hawks on that one as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Sweet. All right, Troy.
I do think Iowa State's going to be pretty solid this year. I think they're going to be contending for possibly even a Big 12 championship. So we'll see.
I agree with you. It's the most talented team they've had, I think, under I'm drawing a blank with his name right now.
For
coach. Iowa State's coach.
God damn it! I can't even think.
You're the same boat as me.
I'll tell you that I am terrible with names. Like
That's
like
okay.
the worst person.
That's okay.
It
doesn't help that you got Brad and Brandon. That's.
Hey, my brother's name's Brandon, so
Jesus,
that's never a good combo. You can ask my dad; he's on here right now watching. But there you go,
Matt Campbell. Jesus Christ,
Matt Campbell. Yep. Big Ten backers with some stats. I love you, boys. 85% returning production for the Cyclones. And I think that's the top of the nation, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dark horse.
The Hawks are up there in returning starters too. We got a ton.
That's true.
I think we have 79% returning production, something high like that.
Right. That sounds right. So
that's phenomenal. All right, Troy, Sun Belt.
Yeah, Troy, I think we got them. I don't see too many. If we struggle with Troy, we're going to have issues with the Big Ten slate.
Oh, facts. Giving a dub, 3-0.
Yeah, I think we started out the season 3-0. Obviously, the questionable one would be Iowa State. I honestly think the Iowa State game is almost a toss-up, but I'm taking the Hawks.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, Minnesota and that dipshit PJ Fleck rowing his boat. What do you got?
I hate Minnesota.
I do too. I do too.
And I even hate him more now that freaking PJ Fleck's been there, and I'm like,
agreed. That's a dipshit.
Yeah, that guy just loves it. Man, if you guys had him on, you guys would have a 6-hour podcast because he would never shut up. So
shit, we'd ask one question, his ass would keep going.
Yeah, he'd just roll with it. You're like, oh,
well, that's good tonight.
Well, him and Lester have the Western Michigan connection, so that right there in itself is a 3-hour podcast.
Oh, yeah, sweet Jesus!
No doubt.
You want to talk about? So you got? Does the boat sink? Make up for last year?
Outside of last year, we've had Minnesota's number for forever, and man, that game with that freaking punt return last year was a killer, wasn't it?
I'm not going to talk about it.
So
wasn't a fair catch.
I feel like there should be an asterisk next to that game last year. So I'm taking the Hawks again. I think we get them this year.
Sweet.
Very nice. 4-0. All right. Then we go into a bye week, much needed as we prepare for one of the, if not top 2 teams in the entire country, especially on the talent side, Ohio State at the shoe. What you got?
I think obviously everything's going to have to be clicking on both sides of the ball. No mistakes, anything for us to even keep it to, a game. But
right.
I don't see us getting that one, boys. I just think it's Ohio State's too tough, especially at their place. The bye does help beforehand. I mean, it gives us an extra week to prepare. Absolutely. I like that.
Yep.
I didn't realize that's where our bye landed, but that's a good spot for it. I think.
Hell yeah, it is.
So here's a question: will it be close? Because that could potentially put us in the playoff if we keep it close, but we still lose.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot has to go right. What do you mean by close? Like 2-score game?
Less. When I say close, I mean like 2 touchdowns or less. Sorry.
I think our defense is going to be good enough to keep it a game. I don't know. I think they got too many playmakers on both sides of the ball. It's just going to be tough to win that one. But I think our defense is good enough we should be able to keep it close. So I'll say yes, within 2 scores.
That's sweet. Shit, for me, that's all I ask, man. After the last time we went up there, man, and hit the bed.
Now, if we lose by 40, don't be calling me and telling me I was wrong and shit.
Hell no, I want you to be wrong, man. I think everybody wants you to be wrong.
Absolutely.
Nobody gives shit. All right, Washington, welcome to the Big Ten, coming to Kinnick Stadium. Hopefully, I don't think they released that time yet. Hoping it's a night game.
It's from. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but from what I've heard, I think it's going to be a big noon kick. Jed Fish, the head coach for Washington, had a presser the other day, and he had a comment on the lines of, "It's big noon, right?" Something like that. And then a reporter said yes. So that's my guess. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So
I hope you are.
Yeah, me too. Because
you got
the big one.
So, I mean, Washington's pretty tough. I mean, they lost a lot though. So, and obviously they got a new head coach. I don't know. I like our chances against Washington. I think just because, I mean, they're obviously their big name, but they lost a lot of talent last year and coming into Kinnick for the first time and maybe ever. Have they been there ever? I don't even know. I'd have to look it up.
I don't think so.
They've met in the Rose Bowl a lot. That's all I know.
Yeah, right. Yep. But I don't think they've ever been to Kinnick. So I think that'll be I think home field advantage gets us that one.
There it is, Mr. Dean. Dean says it's 11 a.m. kick. It's official. Big noon.
Is it really? They just announced that tonight?
I'll tell you what. If I can find
I hope you're not steering us wrong, my friend.
I'll send it to you if I can find the link.
Dean with breaking news.
Yeah.
Dean's the man, dude.
Hell yeah, Dean.
He's got a good show too, so check it out.
I love it. All right, so you got a dub on that one, correct?
I do. Yep.
5-1 rolling into Michigan State. We're heading to East Lansing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Michigan State there. I don't like any of these teams. No. Yeah, if it's not Iowa, I don't like it. So, but I don't think Michigan State's going to be that good this year either. I think they're going to kind of be towards the bottom of the Big Ten. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. That still pisses me off when we lost them in the Big Ten championship game. I was at that one.
Yeah.
That was fuck.
I watched both Michigan schools just in the Big Ten now. I was there for both of them. So
don't go next time.
Yeah, and I got to stop going because we haven't won when I'm gone. So but maybe I'll sit when we go. So yeah, I'm going to take Iowa over Michigan State.
Sweet.
Northwestern coming to Kinnick.
Yeah, I like Iowa. We got 2 of their guys on our team this year. One of them being one of their quarterbacks. I like our chances to get Northwestern. I don't feel like they have our number anymore either. They for the longest time that Northwestern would always pick us off. When they shouldn't have. But I feel like we're kind of transitioning out of that. Hopefully we can stick with that and continue to beat their ass. So
I like that one. All right, now for me, this is where I think Iowa's schedule gets kind of dicey and kind of harder than you realize. So we're going to start off Wisconsin coming to town.
So this is where I have our loss. I know it's a home game. I don't like it either, but I just Wisconsin usually seems to find a way for whatever reason. I mean, I think our playing styles they're so similar on how Wisconsin and Iowa play. They're damn near spitting image of each other, to be honest with you. And they got their new head coach over there now. He's been there. This is second year, isn't it?
Second year. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I mean, he seemed like he was kicking on all cylinders before he got there. So I don't know. I think it'll be close. I think it's a toss-up game, but I'm going to give that one to Wisconsin. I hate to say it, but I think Wisconsin's going to win it.
Nice. All right. Friday night at UCLA, heading out west. What do you got?
So I think UCLA sucks. And I after watching their head coach freaking just lay an egg during the freaking press or the Big Ten media days, I was like, what is going on here? I'm like, we got to get somebody in here that can talk, right? Like, if you're a head coach, you got to be able to talk in front of the media. Like, he had to know what he's got going, like walking into, right? But did you guys see that?
Yeah, I mean, at least he told us where they were at. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
We're also in LA.
He told us what other schools are in LA, and so we knew we had all that. He had all that covered, I guess. But
God.
I don't know. I almost felt bad for him watching it, but
So did I, man. That's like a big time press conference.
That was terrible.
yeah, Jesus Christ.
Like, hey,
I like Iowa. Like, I'm thinking about my buddy's going out to that one. I'm thinking about getting the ticket and going out there too, just to go out to the Rose Bowl and watch it. I don't know. I think we're going to kill UCLA. We might not kill them, but I think we're going to beat them.
Hell yeah. I hope you're right on that bad boy.
Same.
All right. So we got 2 losses right now. We got Maryland. Brian Fairness, baby.
Yeah. That part does scare me. Because obviously he's going to know everything that we do. I mean,
shit, yeah, he is.
And then some. So, and it being at Maryland, I don't know. That's a toughie. But I got to take the Hawks. I can't have us losing to Maryland. I just can't.
They don't have Tua Vailoga anymore, so that's a big thing.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to have to take the Hawks in that one.
All right, Mr. Dean's heading out there. Maybe you had to meet up with Mr. Dean there, Levi.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we got 2 losses going into, in my opinion, probably the biggest Black Friday game I think we've had since we started this thing.
Oh, yes.
That game.
It's a toss-up. For me, it's a toss-up, honestly.
God.
It is. 100%. I think Nebraska's starting to figure it out, unfortunately. But and they got a pretty damn good coach. So I don't know. I think it is a toss-up too. So I have the Hawks going 10-2. So I got to take the Hawks here. So
yep, fine by me.
I used to go to Black Friday games. When I lived in Iowa every year, and like I was always wanting a night game at Kinnick for a Black Friday game, and now here it is, and I can't go. And like, damn, that place is going to be, especially if you're talking 2 teams going in there with 2 losses each.
Yeah.
That shit's
it could be a massive game and a lot of implications on the line for it too. So it'll be crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, phenomenal. All right, it's 10-2. That's phenomenal. I love it, man.
That's not bad. That's where I'm at. So
I'll take it. I mean, this is it. Next year it's going to get tougher for us. Obviously, but at 10-2, I like it.
Yeah, I don't usually go game by game. I usually just I'm like, just pick a number. I think 10-2. So maybe if one of the losses fall somewhere else, maybe they'll pick one up somewhere else.
Yeah.
I like Dean's. Dean's is even better.
11-1. I can see that.
It's a lot better than mine.
11-1 Iowa's in the playoff. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yeah.
I think 10-2 Iowa could push for it too, depending on who that second loss is to. Be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Especially, if it's Nebraska and they're 11-1.
Yeah.
They're not going to penalize us. No way. You lost to Nebraska and Ohio State. So I hope Dean's right. I'm rooting for Dean in this one. I like that 11-1.
And we got fans too. So like they take that into consideration. A lot of people don't realize that, but they do.
Apparently my dad's that's my dad there.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, he lives out in Arizona, so it's a shorter
Oh,
trip.
so does
for
my
him.
dad. Nice.
Yeah.
Look at you guys. Man. Thanks, boys. Appreciate that. Vandy Chris. This is what Vandy Chris has for us. Now I'm curious. I got to ask Chris, what are your 3 losses? I think you might have posted something earlier, but tell me who your 3 are. I'm just out of curiosity. I'll wait for him to respond. I got another question for you. You already talked about it. You don't like any of the teams, but I got a question. Who is your favorite, I guess, fan base you've had the privilege to interact with? Who's been the nicest? Who do you like? All right, they're not that bad of people. I don't like the team, but is there anybody?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm talking to you.
Honestly, so the last time I was out in Nebraska, I actually thought it was going to be a terrible experience, but actually the fans were really nice. I thought that was crazy, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. I guess Ohio. I would have to say probably Ohio State fan. Or I don't know. I don't like Michigan fans either. So either Ohio State or Michigan. I mean, it was crazy when I went to the Big Ten championship game this last year. Literally, like I took my family. I felt like we were outnumbered about 250 to 1. It felt like, which is crazy because usually Iowa travels so well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it was kind of weird. It was just, I don't know. I got tired of seeing all the blue, I think they knew they were going to beat us. So they're kind of cocky from the start. So,
man, Levi, your dad comments, and then my dad has to one up him.
And then my dad's asleep. So
wake his ass up. We got a game to win.
Shoot.
See, who's yours, Brandon? Who's your favorite fan base you've interacted with?
Nebraska. We're not going to go into that just yet. I don't want to be hated by everybody. When Nebraska was in the Big 12, I have family and friends that are on the other side of the Missouri, so I kind of went that way. As far as hate, Minnesota or Penn State, they were kind of cocky. So the one that I remember the most was that 08 game. And I was just fresh out of high school. I was just a little puppy. And I remember going to a tailgate, and there just happened to be these freaking Jersey boys that somehow went to Penn State and decided, oh, hey, I might as well go out to freaking Iowa City. And then they were the biggest D-bags I ever met in my freaking life. Okay. That's not the only bad experience I've had with Penn State fans. And for that game as well, I had some Penn State fans who were sore losers after Murray kicked that beautiful game winner. I'll never forget that. That's one of my favorite games too. So
it was cold as hell, man. I was there.
And another honorable mention, Colorado is one of the worst fan bases I've ever encountered. If you like your vehicle and you go to a Colorado game, park far away from the stadium if you want your vehicle to not have tires slashed. I've heard numerous stories of like fruit and all that crap tossed in people's cars. I've heard people walking in the stands and having Colorado fans just nonstop yelling at them. So, and that's not Big Ten either. That's freaking embarrassing for a team that hasn't been relevant since the early 2000s. So
might be even worse now with Dion there.
Oh, I hope they fail.
I think Nebraska really humbles the hell out of them.
I hope so.
And that shit's in Lincoln, man. That's gonna be an awesome game there.
That's gonna be a good weekend for games too, because that's Iowa State and freaking them, and those two. So
these new conferences, man, every weekend's loaded now. I love it.
I know.
Dream matches you never thought you'd see. Now you're gonna see them all the time. It's fucking badass.
I love it.
It's crazy though. I agree with you guys on the best fan base I've interacted with, Nebraska, all day. So I don't think we're gonna piss off that many people. If you've really been there and interacted with some of these like fan bases, they were fantastic. I used to go. I've been to Nebraska games before they were in the Big Ten with my friends that are from Omaha, and it was a great time. And then I've been to numerous Iowa games out there on Black Friday, and they don't bother you. They start bullshitting with you, drink beer with you. I mean, the rail yard. I don't know if you boys have been there. That's phenomenal. I wish we had something like that outside of Kinnick, man. I know it's not probably possible for us, but that shit was crazy, man. Going there and then going to the game was fantastic. So you're not alone. And then hated shit, man. Man, Brandon, you might not like this. I don't know. Can't remember your views, but Wisconsin was the fucking worst for me, man. Fucking worst.
Really?
I mean, they're pegging beer at you as you're walking by, and this is before the game. Yeah, man. I had people check the women that were with the group by me, like men checking these Iowa girls that were behind us. And I'm like, yeah, man. I turned around and I was like, are you kidding me? Of course, they kept walking, but it's like, dude,
that's pathetic.
Give me a break, man. I mean, it may have been just a one-off. I know we all have those turds in our fan base, but
it's Midwest nice, dude. I mean,
that was the worst. And I grew up in the Ames area, so I'm used to Iowa State hating, but like it was a whole nother level when I went there, man. Whole nother level.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, Brandon, you got any other questions for him?
We got everything covered, man. We appreciate you hopping aboard. Hopefully we get to talk to you again. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Before you go, Levi, I'm sure most of them already know, but if you want to let everybody know where they can find you or find your page, feel free to drop it. Let us know.
I mean, I'm on Hawkeye Heaven's on Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, I pump everything through Facebook, so basically it's dual posted on Facebook and Instagram. So just type in Hawkeye Heaven, it'll come up on Facebook. That's how you find me. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man! This has been cool. Been cool. I know a lot of people were excited for this show because, like I said, a lot of so we're part of the College Football Dogs media network here. So shout out to the Dogs. 120 employees across the country, and so many of them were excited for having you on just because they think of how cool the Wave is. So it was awesome. It's an honor to have you on the show with us, man. And I'm hoping we can get you on again, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. I appreciate you having me, and I think you guys got an awesome thing going here. I like the looks of the podcast. Obviously, I'm going to have to check it out a little bit more often now and maybe pump you guys out there a little bit more so you guys can get some more followers.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That's awesome. We're rookies too, man. This is my second episode ever.
Yep.
It's looking good. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you, Levi. Take care, man, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Have a good night.
All right. Hell, I think it's time. We got to pay some bills, don't we?
I think so.
Shit. All right. We're gonna take a break so we can pay some bills, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do some quick round robin of some camp news. And then I think we're gonna do our Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. So if you guys want to like, share, comment, let us know who your top 4 Mount Rushmores are. Quarterbacks for Iowa Hawkeyes. Feel free in the comments. We'd like to see them and share them. So we're gonna pay some bills, and then we're gonna be back with you guys. One moment here. Man, why can't I find this thing? There we go.
What brings you in today?
A lot of rage.
Have you considered the Knicks? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I don't want to care. You really kind of opened my eyes on this.
Spike the ball.
You know, in therapy, we often talk about what we can and can't control. Did your favorite team get eliminated from the playoff chase in week 1? Did your star player get injured before the season? Do you still have 0 wins in fantasy? Then you need to talk to me, the sports therapist.
I am a New England Patriots fan.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It used to be who are the Patriots playing in the Super Bowl. Now it's will the Patriots win next week?
Exactly.
Probably not.
I'm the victim of a $500 million team where that's given me a $0 payoff. This is the Mets.
And I'll remind you that everything you say here is confidential. Do you find yourself thinking about other baseball teams?
I think about the Astros. I'm going to move to Houston.
I grew up as a Met fan. Maybe we try Rutgers football. Maybe we just play racquetball at the gym. Friends would definitely be better than Rutgers football, huh? The Cowboys are more often a source of misery in your life.
We know what helps Cowboys Nation mental health? Rings.
Maybe the Cowboys will never win a ring in your lifetime. Whose fault do you think it is that the Vikings are not performing so well?
I will say the third game, Kirk Cousins, spike the ball. Get a good play off. Don't throw an interception with the last play of the game.
What is it you'd like to talk about today?
The Jets,
How have you been coping?
a lot of crying.
But if there's a way to engage with the New York Jets without bringing heartbreak on yourself, then I think that could be healthy.
I haven't even smiled this much in 2 weeks, Doc. The Commanders are losing.
Do you think that all of that anger will come exploding out of you?
It might.
There was quite a bit of rage in that, wasn't there? Maybe there's some deep breathing exercises we can do. We're going to breathe in Terry McLaurin, and we're going to breathe out Terry McLaurin. And we're going to breathe in Ron Rivera, and we're not going to let him get us upset.
There was a lot of hype around Kenny Pickett this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just not panning out the way I thought.
And so what do you do in those moments? Do you grab your terrible towel and do you sort of give yourself a rub down, or?
I actually forgot my terrible towel that day.
It seems that you are not holding up your end of the bargain.
I feel like Taylor Swift has just taken over the Kansas City Chiefs football program.
If anything, he missed that first week, and then he started dating Taylor. He was back on the field.
You know what? Now that you think about it, Doc, she might be the good luck charm. I might download her music now.
Well, that's our time.
Thank you.
This is the first time in my life that I've actually felt anything other than deep depression.
What brings you in today?
A lot of rage.
Have you considered the Knicks? I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
All right. Thank you, Fanatics, for sponsoring the Hawkaholics podcast tonight, straight out of Jacksonville, Florida, where I live. So I'll take that all day, every day. All right, man. Let's do some fun stuff before we wrap this show up.
Let's.
Up.
What do we got?
Moment. I'm going to pull this up. All right. We already told them.
Tell them. Tell them again.
Got to get this up here. I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding this stuff.
Oh, man. We're going
all right, man.
Others hear from some of these peeps.
Mount Rushmore. All right. Now's your time to sound off. We already got a few up here, man. Long Bakes, Duncan.
See.
Long Beathard Stanley. I like that one. Randy Duncan again. And Deacon Hill.
You know what's funny too? Like, at least for my Mount Rushmore, I did them off of me being like some semi-alive. There's only 4 faces on the Mount Rushmore mountain that we can only have 4. Otherwise, I could probably do a top 10. Oh, and I know you could too. Easy.
Yeah. I mean,
even if we weren't alive for it, we could do a top 10.
I mean, this is the same shit. I mean, trust me. I mean, I always had a lot of good quarterbacks. Obviously, I've looked back at it and did some research, but I'm talking about the ones I've seen mostly. Right. I mean, because to me, that's what sticks out to me. I don't remember what happened before I was born, obviously. No one does. And
I mean,
so, all right, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Fuck it.
Go first? All right. Boom.
All right, let the hate spew, guys. Let the hate spew. Who did I forget? So now the funny thing about this is the man on the far right, I was not alive when this man was gracing the gridiron with his incredible passing game. He was a freaking good passer. And guess what? There's a thing called YouTube, DVDs, and VHSs. I've seen all of those, so I was able to watch previous games of the man himself, Chuck Long, who I was also hoping would be an offensive coordinator at Iowa at some point within the Ferentz tenure, since we didn't pick up Bob Stoops. So yes, just because I wasn't alive does not mean Chuck Long wouldn't be on there. Second, Ricky Stanzi. Now, mind you, fans, this is not in any order. So this is just who's on my Mount Rushmore.
Why not? You don't want all the hate? Come on.
Well, we could maybe do an episode of like top 10 every single player, and then we could maybe spend like 3 or 4 hours and we'd have no viewers at all. It's up to you, man. That's your call. But anyway, Stanzi is a personal one of mine because that was right after high school. It was in my like early 20. Well, I was 19, 20-ish. And that was like prime college party days. Stanzi was the man. I thought the 2009 team was the greatest team on the planet Earth until he wrecked himself in the Northwestern game. I fuck that game. I hate that game with a passion. I was at that game. I was actually at pretty much every game in 09. So that 09 was always special to me. So that's why Stanzi's up there. And this one, I went back and forth between him and CJ Beathard only because to me, I thought Tate was better than CJ Beathard. For the sole purpose, I am more of a fan of the running quarterback. To me, Tate was mobile. Tate had an arm. Tate could run if he absolutely needed to. And just he had a lot of good highlights. And so did Beathard. And he would be in my honorable mention too, by the way. CJ Beathard and Randy Duncan would be my 2 honorable mentions. Last but not least, I know this man only played one season, started one season, and it was a magical year, except for that one game. This is the one game that really made me hate Iowa State the most. That is one game we'll never get back. I'll never forgive Iowa State for that 0-2 game. I believe it was the second game of the year. It was right after our beatdown of, Utah State. I was at that game. Worst freaking day of my life. It was worse than my team losing the Super Bowl in 97. I wanted to punch every Iowa State fan that I could find. But other than that, Brad Banks was my hero, one of my heroes growing up.
Backers, another show.
Yeah. I could go on a couple hours about Timmy D.
Oh, yeah. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Huge history with that, man. Dude was my idol back in the day. But, yes, Brad Banks, if you don't know who that is, if you're watching and you're not an Iowa fan, or you're an Iowa fan and you barely were alive when he was running amok and on the field, you need to look up this man's highlights. I'm telling you right now, he should have won the fucking Heisman. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says. Carson Palmer did not deserve the Heisman that year. He led the
NCAA and the Big Ten in almost every category.
Yeah. It just and that was another heartbreak of that season too. Just to add the freaking list of wonderful season was watching that Heisman Trophy presentation. And
in the bowl game. Opening kick was fantastic though.
God, that was beautiful. Brad Banks' cousin. Bunch of Florida boys there, Brad, even though you're a native Iowan, still Florida boys.
Oh, yeah. They had some wide receivers on there too that year. C.J. Jones, he's the one that took that kickoff back. I'm pretty sure he was from Florida. There's quite a few on that team.
C.J. Jones was Brad Banks' cousin. God, who was that? Ramon Ochoa.
Mo Brown.
Yes.
That guy was like.
Ramon Ochoa was my dude too.
Razor Ramon. Very nice.
Was Fred Russell from Florida too? I can't remember.
Shit.
Yes.
Something I don't know.
Yes.
Antoine.
God,
Nice.
We could literally talk all day on that team.
Oh, we're gonna.
So
we will at some point, man. This is only episode number 2. It's fine.
That's true.
All right, I like all those, man. I like all those. I dig that.
What
all
you
right.
got?
Mine. Boom. Just one change, man.
Okay.
Listen, Chris, I see you, man. I see you with that flash in the pan, but you got to look at it from a different eye. What that guy did in 1 year, he should have been 2 years. He should have not have been on the bench.
Yeah, I agree.
2001. He should not have. I'm not sure what the hell that shit was, but he should have. But anyway, and this is no particular order, obviously, but I got Brad Banks too. I mean, that guy was 11-1, second in the Heisman. He was Offensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, won the Davey O'Brien Award. Guy had 26 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, and only 5 picks. I mean, we hadn't seen that at Iowa from a quarterback since the 90s. No, probably 80s.
It would be the 80s. I don't remember.
It's been long, and Heartland. But so I got Brad Banks, man. Plus, I was a part of. I mean, that was one of my few earliest memories of Hawkeye football. Is like that's when I really started like getting to go to the games and watch it. Shit, I was at that Purdue game, dude, that year in 2002.
That game was incredible.
Touchdown to Dallas Clark, his run, dude. That shit, man, I'll never forget. Never forget. That was awesome. So Brad Banks has to be in it. And then obviously you got to have the GOAT, man. There's no doubt that you put this guy number one. And if any Hawkeye fan does not agree that this guy should be number one, then shit, I don't know what the fuck you were watching. But Chuck Long, hands down, the best quarterback Iowa's ever had. He was the first quarterback to pass for 10,000 career yards in the whole NCAA. Like a trend center. Now we can't do anything on offense, but we had somebody that can. So it's possible in Iowa. I mean, the list goes on. He holds almost every record at Iowa. Like the dude finished second in Heisman, only behind Bo Jackson. So that's another one where we're like, maybe at least that one we can probably say it was okay because Bo Jackson was a freak in college, man. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And difference between him and Carson Palmer to me is miles apart, man. But yeah, I got him the GOAT, man. No particular order, but he is the GOAT, man. And
you see what he's doing now, bud?
Yeah, he lives in Ames and works. He used to work right next to my mom. So
he's promoting the Iowa games too. Like he's a big supporter of that. And I think I'm pretty sure he runs it. Could be wrong though, but
yeah. So my number two, honestly, I guess not in particular order, but Ricky Stanzi for me. That guy, like, kind of like you, man. I was just out of high school when he was coming up, so that was really when you're really getting into the football and going to games and really going to tailgates and doing that shit. And that guy he just won, man. I don't care where he was. He won, man. I mean, he's third in touchdown passes, 56. I mean, he's third in passing yards at 7,300. He's second in record. He's got a 26-9 record as a starter in the Northwestern game. You can't really – I put an asterisk next to that shit. So you're talking 26-8 to me. And then another thing, I mean, he is the only quarterback – get this shit – the only quarterback to ever go 3-0 versus Joe Paterno at Penn State. Ever.
Ooh, I did not know that one.
Ever.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. I mean, Joe Pa was – man, they were best around, man. They were a tough out for everybody every single week back in those days. He's the first one to go 3-0 against them ever. So, jeez. I mean, that alone, he's one of only 3 players in the Big Ten ever to go 3-0 in bowl games. That guy just won, man, and he put up the numbers to back it up. And he loved America, my friend. You cannot forget that speech. And that alone is like, I was at that game too. I was at that Orange Bowl, and that was phenomenal. So, fantastic. I love him. And then I got to go with CJB, man. My boy CJ Beathard. Same thing. All that dude did was win. And he put up decent numbers. And he was a good football player. And he's still playing in the NFL as a quarterback.
Yep.
He's the backup down here in Duval for the Jacksonville Jaguars where I live. So, he's got 21-7 record too. 21-7 record. He's 6th in touchdowns. He didn't get that many years. And he's 6th in total offense without that many years. So those are mine. I mean, my honorable mention, probably Drew Tate. He was fun to watch. He was, for us, to me, it was like, he was like one of a kind. He's one of those undersized quarterbacks that just went out there and balled out. He was like ahead of his time. Now we see him all the time.
Definitely.
That guy was ahead of his time. If we put that dude out there in his prime in this day and age of football, I don't know, man. I don't know. He was.
Well, they're a lot smaller nowadays too than they were back then.
Yeah. Back then it was unheard of that he was barely 6 foot. And that was the only knock everybody had on that guy. Yeah. And then obviously I'll never forget the touchdown to Holloway and the Capital.
Take to Holloway.
I was on my way out the door trying to go to work and in high school for that shit. Trying to go out the door for work, and I'm like, hell, this game's probably over. I'm going to get ready for work. And I just watched that last play, and I'm like, no fucking way. And it sticks out to me. So, yeah. So that's who I got for my 4, man. So I see a lot of people have quite a few. I hope you're wrong on that, Dean, man. I went to the game last year. CJ started for the Jags, and he looked really good. They won. And he put up some number. He had a great passer rating. He had no interceptions. He took care of the ball, so I'm hoping they don't do that. But, yeah, man, so that's what I got for mine.
Good list. I like it. I would have had the same thing too, but it's difficult, Like we had mostly the same list, but just the Beathard and Tate, I would say, was the only one that we had different. And like I said, man, like let's see, I was a teenager, I think, when Tate was running rampant, and that was when back then though, like you couldn't really, I don't know. We started tackle football in like, I think 5th or 6th grade. So it was kind of late. So it was right around that, right after Brad Banks. Oh no, there's Nathan Chandler, then Brad Banks. But yep. I was getting ready to hop into high school from junior high. So there's kind of like one of those things where you really look up to athletes. Right. And Tate was one of them. Even though I didn't play quarterback, he was just somebody I looked up to. So.
Yes, they did trade for Matt Kim Jones.
Matt Kim Jones.
He's a Jacksonville boy, too. He went to school there in Jacksonville. So I hope we're wrong, but I think CJ's getting number 2 reps last I saw. But I don't know shit, man. To be honest with you, I'm not a big NFL. I'm a 49ers fan, so that's what it is.
Yeah, he's got issues. We don't. We'll just pat him on the head for that.
All right, what do you say we take one last little pay the bills break, and then we'll come back and wrap this shit up. Sound good to you?
I'm okay with that. Sounds good to me, man. Let's do it.
We're going to give a shout-out to the homies at College Football Dogs, college football media outlet here is who we're partnered with and help put this together with us. So thank you to them, and if you want to give them a like, a follow, go find them. They're on all the platforms, man, but it's a cool thing. So we're going to give a shout out to them. We'll be back to wrap this up.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12-plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
Hell yeah, College Football Dogs. Give them a like, give them a share. Whatever you want to do, we're on all social networks, so go ahead and give us a like and share there. Chip, I think we're about wrapped up for the night. What about you? You got anything? Any camp news?
Real quick. Fans, don't worry about what happened last Saturday at Kids Day. We have more than just one day of practice. So I wouldn't worry too much about it just yet. There's going to be another scrimmage on Saturday. So there's nothing to worry about, guys. Now, what I would worry about is if he does this shit at Illinois State, then you can worry. But I wouldn't worry. And by the way, buddy, I really hope and pray to God that your Sullivan prediction from last week isn't true, but if it is true, I will give you all the props in the world, especially if he loses the job to Cade. Or not Cade, excuse me. If Sullivan takes over for Cade and kicks ass, then I will literally freaking praise you every freaking week, and I will thank you.
That's
because, I mean,
I still got him going, man. I still think that he's going to be fun.
If he does take over, man, he will have my full support. It sucks though, because like I really wanted to see what Cade could do, but I don't wish injuries on anybody, but
yeah, no, man.
I think that everybody's freaking out for no reason. It's just because we saw all this BS offense the last however many years that we've been going through this crap, and there's really no reason to panic just yet. And you also got to think of it too this way. A lot of the times that Cade went against our number one defense. So if our defense is stopping, our number one offense, that doesn't necessarily mean that Cade can't go freaking throw 15 for 17 and have a shit ton of yards against Iowa State. I guarantee you, if we're top 5 in defense and that's what they're doing to our offense, what do you think we're going to do to all the other teams that aren't in the top 5? So there's no reason to panic. Just have faith, guys.
I don't know, man. Need it. I got to give you the flip on that shit. The same shit happened last year, and we kept marching out the same damn shitty quarterback.
Okay.
How did practice go? Do you really think that Deacon Hill was torching that defense last year? Hell no, he wasn't.
But here's what I'll tell you.
No.
So the funny thing is, we're gonna go back to your little quarterback prediction there, your Mount Rushmore. So the same thing happened with The same thing happened with CJ Beathard on his kid's day. He looked like absolute dog shit, and then look what happened. So
but the offense was a lot better. So
yes, that's true. But
I think we're all just haunted by it right now.
I get it, and I understand, but I mean, let's just hold on, chill. And with the Illinois State game, I don't expect fireworks, because I'm pretty sure that our game plan, we're going to want to hold off from Iowa State, because if we give Iowa State some ammo to work with, then I think that's not a good thing. So I think Lester's going to hold back a little bit against Illinois State. So just be calm, fans. Just keep reading your blogs and just
say your prayers, eat your vitamins, baby.
Eat those vitamins, baby. So yeah, just and then the defense looked great. I wish I would have went, but unfortunately, being a dad, sometimes you have sick kids.
Duty calls, baby. And duty calls.
Duty freaking calls. And one more thing before we get out of here.
Yes,
we are
sir.
ranked number 25 in the AP poll. I'm okay with that. How are you? How you feeling?
I'm fine with that, man.
Are you? You don't think we're overrated or nothing?
I'm going to pull that up. No, man. We returned 17 starters, the most in the Big Ten, on a team that won 10 games. We get our starting quarterback back, our starting tight end back. We probably have, if I'm not, probably the best defense we've had since that 09 team, maybe even of all time. We don't know yet, man. I mean, we have 4 studs in the back half, the back 2 lines, which, I mean, if we find an answer on that front line, boy, QB don't have time to throw. It's going to be pick city, man. Ball hawks all over the place. I mean, Jay Higgins, Nick Jackson, Sebastian Castro, freaking Xavier Wampa. I mean, that defense is loaded, man. Absolutely loaded. So
absolutely.
If you didn't put them in the top 25, you'd have to question people's credibility. I mean, just based off last year. No offense. We still won 10 games. Granted, we didn't score a point against a ranked team. It's fine. We still won 10 games.
That's true. Now, one more thing. Are you fine with 25, or do you think we should be higher than 25?
I'll take it. I mean,
we'll take history, it. Yeah.
History for me, anytime we're high ranked, we go out and we shit the bed. And we usually shit the bed against Iowa State, even though we shouldn't have.
That's true.
I don't know how many times we were like coming off a great season and we're in like the top 15 and we'll go into Ames with their shit team and they'll kick our ass and I'll be like, what the and it's like, damn, dude. So like 25, Iowa's one of those teams, man. We don't have 5 stars. We don't have 5-star dudes. So like we need to be under the radar to have that chip on our shoulder. That's just kind of who we are. It's always who, at least for me under Ferentz and growing up, that's always who they've always been. You think of our most successful seasons. where were we ranked usually? Usually
Just
not
outside.
ranked or right here.
Yep.
You look at some of our what the hell seasons, 2010 following up that undefeated season.
Yeah, I did.
It was rough. I mean, we still had a decent year, but it was rough. You go 2010 following up after the 2009 season. Same shit, man. Win the Orange Bowl, you crush Georgia Tech, and then you roll out there highly ranked, and you go and you shit the bed again. So, like, I'm perfectly okay with this, man. Like, I'm good. I love it. I think we deserve to be ranked, but I don't see us. I can't see us in front of very many teams that are in front of us, except for maybe – I will never drink this Notre Dame Kool-Aid that everybody just keeps chugging. Everybody just keeps chugging the shit out of that and putting them in the top 10, and then what happens? Nothing.
I'm the same. I mean, even though they're not in the top 10, I'm the same way with Missouri. I've always thought that Missouri they've always ranked them way too high. And they kind of remind me of Iowa too. Like every time you rank them really, really high, they always shit the bed.
Yeah.
So that's my overrated pick.
Miami.
Now you could, to me, like, here's another debate you could have. Do you think Iowa's better than USC?
Man, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know what they have coming. They have Lincoln Riley, obviously. I don't know. They lost their quarterback. They got a new defensive coordinator.
Right.
I don't know, man. I mean, last year.
They're the opposite of us.
Yeah, they got great offense and the question mark on defense.
Yep.
Great coach. Yeah, I don't know. See, that's one of those I won't touch. NC State, I don't know enough about them, so I'm not going to speak on that. Kansas, I know they got some talented dudes there, so I'm perfectly content being behind them. K-State, same shit. A&M. I mean, Oklahoma State has the best running back in the country, and it's not even close. So I'm perfectly content with that. I think the only ones that stand out to me are like Miami. Man, we do the same shit with them all the time too. It's like, here's the Kool-Aid, chug it all, and then they just shit the bed too every year. Them and Notre Dame. It's like clockwork, man. Death, taxes, and shit in the bed.
Catholics and convicts.
Like,
no offense.
That's what it is right there, baby.
Sorry, guys. If you're a Catholic, I apologize. All right, man. That's I'm good to go.
Hell yeah, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, thanks, everybody. Yeah, let's get out of here. It's getting late. Luckily, I'm on the central time zone with you, so it's not super late, but my body still feels like it's 10 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. Like I said, feel free to share, like the page, let all your Hawk fans know. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. We like the interaction. Obviously, as you see, we like to share all these comments that y'all sending at us. So it's been a lot of fun. Next week we're going to do some predictions. We got Levi's tonight. So next week we're going to hit you with ours and tell you where we're
lots and lots of predictions, folks.
Cheers again, Mike.
We're going to do national, we're going to do Big Ten, and we're going to do ours. So expect a lot of so
we're going to talk, but we want to hear your opinions too, obviously.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
But hell yeah, it's been fun again, Brandon. Number 2 was a success.
Yes.
Good night, obviously, Dad. Thanks for watching.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks everybody out there in Hawk Nation.
Appreciate it, guys.
It's been fun. We'll see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central time in God's country of Iowa. So we'll see you guys next week.
That's right. Go Hawks.
Hell yeah, go Hawks.
It's a mad world. You go your own way. I'm gonna go mine. absurd how we never seem to get it or kick this shit to the curb now. It's all I got and on a road. It's all she wrote, she wrote. It's all I know, it's all I know. It's not to know you. It's all I got and on a road. It's all she wrote, she wrote. It's all I know, it's all I know. It's not to know you.
You ever wonder when it's time to stop living up here and start living down here?
Don't take a lunch. I double down, exercise, don't know where to be found. We're coming up, we're going through. Now this is the sound of my weapon.